Alright, so we're going to be pre-banning Lua Aiden in our first match. And we can see that there's a B-Dom and AOL ban from the right side, so obviously before they pick, we know that they're probably going to want to play something like a Conquer Lilius, right? Something that has extra turns. And since there's a ML Ken available, we could take an Anchor pretty early on here. I think that should be fine. So I'm going to be taking Candy here, since Candy's good. Candy can beat ML Ken and can also beat Abyssal Euphine as well. Now, what do I want to take into Conquer Lilius here? So I could give them the first turn, I could tank down, but I might get run down like a dog. So probably want to run some form of utility. And Summer Lulu's pretty early here, which is going to put you into a bad spot of forcing you into, let's see, I could probably take Zeo here. I could take the Zeo to deny the first turn, since if he wants to play aggro, it won't be too good for him, because if I want to take like Arrowell or LRK or something here, he can run me down like a dog with 4 remaining picks, which is going to put me in a really bad spot. But if I take Zeo here, I'm challenging the first turn to take some of the tempo back away from the draft, and I think it's going to be helpful in this match. He goes for LRK second here. LRK overall is pretty good into Emelandi, so it makes sense.
I protect.
And he goes double tank. That's interesting. Can't say I'm used to seeing that, but in that case, if he's tanking down, he can't really cleave me anymore from this spot, and arguably I can cleave him here. There's a lot of mitigation though, so it's gonna be a little bit hard to cleave him, but needs to press buttons. I could go Payra here maybe. Maybe something like a Payra Knockwall. I mean, not Payra Knockwall, maybe Payra Jacko. I think Payra Jacko could be okay here. And then I need one more cleave unit to round out the draft, because I can ban one of the 2 anti-cleave units and play around it. So I just need to make sure I have a bridge. What is his last pick gonna be? Abyssal Euphine? Okay. What is my last pick going to be? Honestly, he goes Emil Ken. Makes sense. So in this spot, I think could Milius be good here? Maybe. But I need something that can round out my draft pretty hard. Could I go Stene, or could I just go LQC and nuke him? I think we go Lionheart Sermia. We strip the escort with one of these. Jacko can kill. Like, I know I'm gonna take the first turn, so I could probably ban one of these. I think we ban the escort. The escort's gonna be what keeps them alive. He bans Jacko. If I crit, it triggers a Lionheart Sermia proc, so it'd be okay here maybe.
Are you going to provide some entertainment?
I don't want to give him Vigor.
Those who deny their fate.
I don't want to give him Vigor with the Conquer Lilius here. So if I S2, this is going to put Unbuffable on, and I could get crit here. I could get countered from the Euphine. Okay, he didn't counter. I land Unbuffable on all 4 though, which is going to be important because he can get immunity up from the LRK.
I'm not half bad.
But now he can't get attack buff, he can't get Vigor from Silius, like it's going to be pretty good. 29k LRK.
Run him through, Siegfried.
Candy counter? No counter from Candy.
I'll take your life.
This is going to trigger the Lionheart. Lionheart's going to boost up, and then we're going to S3.
I'll give you a taste of defeat.
This Conquer Lilius may be dead here.
No matter how small its prey.
And because they're unbuffable, they can't get the barrier from the LRK, which is really important for us here. And looking at Emilken's damage, like, I'm not really convinced that he's super strong, so I'm just gonna go for the AU feat here. We actually get a lucky dual attack.
Guiding light, illuminate the unknown.
And then we salvo as well with attack buffs, looking pretty good. And Abyssal Euphine isn't charged up yet, so the most you can do is put attack down on our carries, but we counter here. Maybe salvo? We don't salvo, so because she's at the top of the CR bar, we're just gonna focus her down. Emilken's gonna counter. We salvo. Because I am high effectiveness on the Feyre, I can go for an S1 on here. Okay, we didn't land the stun, but now I'm just gonna go into LRK as S3, but I'm just gonna S1 into the LRK. Because we have speed buff on our Lionheart, and typically most Emilkens are like pretty much base speed, so we should be able to lap here, and we should be able to kill in a one shot.
You're not half bad.
And looks pretty good. Looks like a win. Pretty good.
Come on.
We didn't go hard cleave, but the Jackal was a force ban for him, so we got the Lionheart through, and it was pretty clean. GG's. Okay, so hopping into our second match here, we have a Conquer Lilius and an LRK coming out from the right side, and there's an AOL here. So AOL is going to be a really powerful pick here for the right side, so I definitely need to either go Cleanses right away, or I need to take the tempo out of the draft. And because Conquer Lilius is banned, it tells us this most likely want to be a tank down draft, maybe with like an Arrowwell here so that we can't strip the escort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the carries who don't care about being buffed or not, which is going to be Emolandi here. And then along with Emolandi, I'm going to take Zio to deny the first turn from them. This just takes tempo back away from the draft here, and because I do have effectiveness on my Zio, I can maybe like strip this, push this back, or I can at least go into like a Jacko, Payra draft or something like that as we saw in the previous match.
Another trial to overcome.
So there's the arrow that we were expecting, because Conquer Lilius ban really just tells us that it's going to be an Airwell pick, because Escort's just so powerful for her. And then Emilken comes out as well. So as of right now, I think Knockwall is a force ban for them, since this needs to counter. And then I'm going to need to take one more pick that's going to be pretty good into their draft. And I'm thinking it has to be something, maybe single DPS. LQC, no, won't work. Maybe Stene. Stene's pretty early here. I want to carry a book though, because if we don't have a book, it's gonna make things kind of awkward for us. And I could go Alaika here or Stene. Stene keeps us pretty flexible. Alaika gets us pretty committed here. I think we could take Stene here.
Don't come near me.
So Stene carries the book for us here. We have double opener. We have books to Soulburn Knockwall if he lets it through. We can get a last pick to force ban. Athletica may be the ban here, potentially. Maybe the ban.
Come on, I'll take you all down.
So it's definitely an Athletica ban. I think it's Athletica, and we can actually go Alaika here. Because he has no answer to Alaika, and he has to ban this. And I have like two units that can deal with AOL right away in the beginning. And the Alaika is going to allow us to basically just straight up nuke one of his DPS, so he's going to be playing 3v4, and if Knockwall comes through, he's not going to be able to skill null. So he actually bans the Knockwall as expected, because Emilken and AOL are both going to be heavily reliant on countering and having their skills available. So here I'm probably going to have to Zio S3. Who do we Zio S3 here?
Dare defy me?
He's on Adamant Shield.
Emperor?
So I think the play is we probably just strip the escort off Arrowwell here.
I am the rightful ruler of this land. Kneel before me.
Right, and then I'm going to S2 the AOL or this. Let's get skill null. I think we just nuke one of the DPS. We just nuke the Lionheart.
Combat systems armed.
She should be dead with no escort on, even if it's POV. We should be able to kill. If not, it's just a gear gap. Yeah, she's dead. So Emilken's gonna counter and he gets skill null, but he effectively doesn't really have any reach into my standing that has double book. Right? And because his team is pretty far behind me, we're not really too concerned. So I'm just gonna S1 first to go into the Emilken. Again, he doesn't have skill null right now, right? So that's really important. I S1 again into the Emilken. It's gonna activate. Oh, he doesn't have Sigurd. So all it really takes is one salvo, right? He's not on Sigurd's Scythe, which maybe tells us he's on Golden Rose potentially. So I don't want to S1 into him, because if it is Golden Rose, he's going to heal up pretty much. We're going to S1 into the Airwell, since that's going to be the mitigation. He might provoke us, so it is Golden Rose. So we have to just rely on the Emolandi maybe doing an Elbrus or a counter or something. This Emilken's going to do a lot of damage here. I don't know if it's enough to kill us, but if we counter salvo, it'll be good for us here. We didn't get any counters off. That's pretty bad. That's really bad, actually. So in this spot, we're pretty doomed. So we might have to just S3 and hope for a stun. Because if I S1, Emelandi's just going to die on the next turn, and then Zio's going to die like a dog. So if he doesn't have ER here, then I can win. Okay, we GG. That's unfortunate. It's a close game, though. Close game. I think if we got like a salvo off, would have been maybe in our favor, but on to the next one. So right side bans Lua and Emilken. Doesn't really give us a whole lot of information because Candy's a pretty neutral ban and Lua's a pretty neutral ban too. So pre-ban wise, it doesn't actually give us a lot of information to work with. He goes for Bryceria first pick, so maybe there's some type of weird cleave that this person might be doing. So if we go Zio Pay right here, we can get kind of trapped here since this can still play into a lot of different drafts. I think we could maybe take Cilia Zio. I think Cilia Zio is pretty good because if you want to take Cilius on 1-2, you need to take the Zio because Zio is going to be a quick response into a counter cleave into the Conquer Lilius. So Conquer Lilius is going to address the Guiding Light so that they can't play an anti-Zio draft right here, and this can still relatively flex not just into a pure cleave but into somewhat of an aggro draft. And he goes B-Dom as a response into the Conquer Lilius, which makes sense. Now, because he has AU Fiend and Bryceria, what unit works really well as an anchor for us? Emilken, right? Emilken's going to be able to solo pretty hard.
Fight those weaklings?
And we need another unit that's going to be able to deal with all of this. And what is that unit going to be? I think A Tywin's actually pretty good for us here, because A Tywin's going to be able to cleanse a Death Break and also get Rage. I think A Tywin was actually not bad here. I do want to have a way of connecting this cleave, but this is... Emilken is going to be our anchor. It's really hard to kind of tie him into a cleave, so I'm actually just gonna go with... I don't actually know. We can take A Tywin.
Such arrogance.
We just need to play to anchor, right? We can get the first turn, we can S1 into him, no problem. Ed might actually be kind of free, but we're going to be on a timer against this Abyssal Euphine. We'll have to see.
Move or die.
Inferno Kawazu. Low key, I kind of feel like he's taking Ed here. If he takes Ed, can I go Lionheart into him?
My turn now.
I can take Lionheart, and then I can ban this. Yeah, I think it's this ban. The only thing that can snipe out our our anchor is going to be at Moken, right? I mean Inferno, right? If he lands like double burn, kills us through Aureus, and then we're kind of bozoed. But in this spot, I feel like we're kind of okay because none of these can really one-shot Moken. If he gets Death Broken, we have a cleanse, we have some control. I think overall our draft is looking okay for the most part.
Are you going to
He does
provide
actually
some
have immunity
entertainment?
on the B-Dom. He doesn't. Oh, he's. That's interesting. I'm not afraid of the Bryceria
Afraid, sinner.
because the Bryceria is gonna get cleansed.
Fear judgment.
Which is why we brought a Tywin, right? We have a Tywin because of the Briar. So if I S3, it's kind of pointless. I'm just gonna S1 into the beat off.
I'll end this.
Some weird lag going on there.
It hurts.
So if she presses buttons, I can S3 on a Tywin right after. Even if we get countered by the Ed, I mean, who cares? It's kind of a 50-50 at that point. And the Death Break should get cleansed off the Amoken. We get a full heal, or not even a heal, we just counter. And this is gonna guarantee stuns since it ignores ER. And if this goes into Ed, we don't care. Because I'm pretty confident that the Ed is not going to be able to one-shot us with S3 onto our Ed, onto our Amoken. Especially with Aureus on the field and Vigor. It's going to be pretty difficult for him. Because if he does S3 here and doesn't kill, I get a free counter off onto him, which is going to be really big. So he goes for the Zeo, and this is actually going to trigger the Amoken to S1 into him, but I don't land the provoke. Wow. That's so bad for him. Man, I feel like that's low-key a robbery. There may be a robbery on site. So we definitely killed the beat-on for free. The extra attack actually goes into the Euphian, which is actually kind of nice. Now we can put Vigor up, right? So he can finish off this Zeo, and this should crit. Oh no, he doesn't finish Zeo. So this provoke lands, because he's gonna S2 kill the Zeo. He's also not on speed set, so makes it kind of bad for him.
Give all that you have.
So now, Ed has already S2'd, right? We know that Ed has already S2'd, which means that if we S1 into him, he's not going to have his ability. So Bryceria is already stunned, so we don't care about her. So we can just get the free attack off into the Edward here. Because there's no point activating this AU Fiend if we don't have to. And we're just going to S1 into the Ed again, because he's not going to counter, and we just want to do as much damage as possible here. This S3 is going to kill 2 for 1. I don't think it will kill the Amoken here, or sorry, the Edward, but it will be really good damage. And now he just can't do anything. He's just dead. Very good. A Tywin pocket pick was just too good. Our 5th pick was really good, so he didn't really have any response in the draft. So, pretty good. I think we did pretty good on our 3rd one. Let's move on to the 4th matchup today. Alright, so we see Navy Captain Landy and Abyssal Euphian getting banned from the right side. A lot of times, you can tell what a person wants to do when they just pick right away with their pre-bans. So Abyssal Euphian and Candy are 2 really strong anchors right now. So that usually tells us like they may be looking to cleave, right? And if they go Arrow first pick, it's pretty unlikely that they're going to want to cleave here. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm actually going to want to take... So because these 2 anchors are gone, he's kind of opening himself up to getting cleaved as well, right? So I'm going to take the the Conquer Lilies and the Zeo because that puts me in a really strong spot to either cleave or go aggro. And because these 2 units that can really do well against that style are banned out, I'm willing to play against that. So we go Summer Luluka here, which is a pretty good counter pick into the Conquer Lilies, obviously, because she can be built with really high ER, so she can resist like Zeo S3 or Conquer Lilies S3 and S2. It's really hard to F check her, right? And what F checking means is basically just trying to land a debuffs on her at all. So she's trying to hold our Cilius hostage, which is a little bit of an int because now I think Solitary is going to be a pretty strong force ban for him, and he took Steny here as well, which is kind of questionable because Bellion is available. So I think a pretty natural response is going to be Solitary to cancel out the Summer Luluka, and we can take Bellion as well here to counter out the Steny, right? Stanley has no reach into Solitaria, of course, unless she luckily splashes into us, and Bellion's just overall really good into the Stanley as well.
Must be brave.
So he takes Rowan, a Dilibet here, which is going to be really... Those are pretty good because that's a really strong draft into us. But what does he do if we just go Inferno Kawazu, right? If we go Inferno Kawazu, we basically tell him that, you know what? I'll let you have the Dilibet. We're going to let the AoE through. We're going to fight against the Stene. We're going to either ban Stene here because we have the AoE to deal with the Dilibet, or we're going to ban the Rowan here and play the AoE and lock him down. And I think if I was him, I'm either probably banning Bellion or Inferno here, but considering I picked the Inferno on 5, he is probably expecting me to ban the Stene since I already have Bellion on the field. And in that case, I'm going to ban Rowana. Reason I'm banning Rowana is because obviously this is really good. This activates her, this activates her, this activates her, this activates her. Every one of my units is going to activate the Rowana healing, which means no matter how much damage I do in the opening turns, nothing is going to matter, because if I just let them heal back up after, I mean, I basically lose the match right away. So what I'm going to do here is, oh, it's Uni Hero. Oh, nice, nice. So I'm actually going to... I'm gonna S3 push back onto the...
Those who deny their
I'm gonna push back onto the Dilibet, just for the CR. I want to make as much of a gap as possible with the Dilibet and the Ocean Breeze, because my S3, if she's on Soul Consolation, she's gonna push up in front, so that means she's gonna be forced to cleanse for the Dilibet, right? And Dilibet gets 40% CR push on her S2 when there's debuffs on the enemy on their team. And as you can see, sorry, you don't even need Soul Consolation because her S2 is going to push her up, right? So in this spot, we know we can't land on this. So I'm just going to S2 onto the Airwell here. Just so that we can push the Airwell back a little bit, because that S3 for the barrier is going to be really big for them, right? And because she didn't press her buttons here, I'm actually going to stun the Dilibet here. We can stun. Okay, well we didn't stun, which means she still gets to press buttons after. But the the Stene is attacked down, so it's not totally Jover. So she got a stun off on the Zeo. If she presses S3, okay, no Elber's coming out from our Bellion either, which is a little bit unlucky, to be honest.
Don't ever ignore the power of
Goes for the stun on the Bellion,
with something to protect.
and got the stun off. Good for them. Now I'm gonna S1 into the Airwell because I don't want to give the Airwell free CR for no reason. We actually stripped the barrier really big there, really big. We can strip this escort off so that we can do more chip damage onto the other team. He resisted it with 15%, unlucky. So obviously the Dilibet's right behind the Ocean Breeze, so is she going to S3? No, she is not. Will she S3 on the Dilibet here? Because if she S3s here, we can trigger the Bellion Elbrus to injure down the team. So hopefully our Elbrus does wake up, because we're going to need it. Okay, so we got the Elbrus off. Beautiful. Beautiful. Good stuff. So she S1s onto the Zeo. The Conquered Lilith is going to lap, so I'm going to hit the Airwell here, because we can see that the Airwell is right behind, so I definitely want to try to take out this Airwell if I can with the Zeo damage here. I have Vigor and Attack buff, so it's possible that she dies. Maybe Holy Sack. It's not on Holy Sack. That's really big for us. That's really big. So we hit the Ocean Breeze to potentially stun. We got an extra dual attack on the Bellion as well, so that means that Stene is just instantly dead. Yeah, it's GG. Yeah, I think we just did a really good draft there. We answered everything really well, and we played it perfectly. So let's go to the 4th match. Alright, now into the 5th match we go. We are fighting against a Zeo and AOL pre-ban, which tells us that they're probably going to want to play some form of openers that rely on buffs really heavily. And because Navy Captain Landy is open, I'm going to take her as my anchor, because guess what? Navy Captain Landy is really good into cleave, is really good into standard, and it's really good into aggro. She's just the perfect anchor for any style of draft that you want. So she does have a lot of counters, right? Obviously there's Emoken, there's Lone Crescent Bellona, there's Abyssal Yufine, there's Inferno Kawazu. There's a lot of counters to her, so we want to respond to the 2 picks accordingly and not give
If
away
you
the
wish
draft.
to live.
So Conquer Lilius is basically going to take away a lot of the tempo from us here, and LRK is really good into the Navy Captain Landy as well. So I definitely don't want to just give up all control of the draft. So how can I get some of the control of the draft back? Now, he already showed his tank, which means maybe I could take a tank too, but A Taiwan means that I'm going to be really passive, and it'll be really hard to play a faster draft with just 3 picks remaining here. So with that in mind, I'm going to address the Conquer Lilius pick by taking Moon Bunny Dominial. And then our third pick, we want to take maybe like some form of DPS potentially. I think Lionheart Sturmia could be okay, but it might be a little bit early in taking that. I think what I'll go for is... I'll go for Peyra.
How incompetent.
I don't want to give him control of the draft, right? So the Bunny Dom's going to answer this. So even if he bans out one of my openers, if he bans out Peyra, I still have Bunny Dom to hold buttons against him, and then that can open him up to things like Lionheart Sturmia +1, right? And obviously, like, they're going to be like buff reliant, right? If I can block out the barrier from the LRK, it's going to be good. Even though we're, you know, refreshing his cooldowns every S2, we don't care about that, because if we do run an AoE, say we have Lionheart Sturmia on 4 or 5, and they ban maybe something like a B-Dom and they try to speed race us, 308 Peyra is pretty fast, right? Well, at least in my standard. Then at least we can block out the barrier, we can block out the buffs, no immunity, no vigor. It's going to be really important. Now, what is he going to draft? So he goes for Hand Guys to cleanse the debuffs coming in from my Peyra, and Inferno Kawazu. So he has 4 non-attack skill units, right? So what can I do to punish this, right? I think Green Celine is really good here, because Green Celine's going to force him to not be able to press any buttons, right? Obviously, I'm probably going to have to just S3 on Peyra if it goes through. So we have Peyra here, and then I think another unit I could maybe go for is maybe like a Lionheart Sturmia. But we need something that can kind of deal with this, right? I actually think Lionheart Sturmia is okay. Lionheart Sturmia. Lionheart Sturmia looks okay here.
I'll give you a taste of defeat.
Milius would be completely useless against my draft, so I would not even need to consider banning Milius. The only reason he's hovering Milius is he's thinking that what if I take all these non-attack skills and then the S3 from Celine goes into the Milius, right? That's basically the only reason, but it's pretty unlikely that the Inferno has lower attack than the Milius, so you can see that they're pivoting off of it. So he goes for ML Ken here.
Only if you think you can defeat me.
I think ML Ken is... it may be worth banning. Yeah, I think it's worth banning. Like, Inferno Kawazu can only press 1 button, right? He presses S3 and he kills either this, or this. Right, we have 3 carries that can win us the game here, so I'm gonna go Release Imprint on the Peyra here, and then just stack up the bulk onto our 2 anchors. And our green Celine is tanky, right? A nuke Celine is not gonna work here, so you need to make sure that you have a bit of a tankier Celine.
I'll make you taste
And
despair.
we got either speed RNG'd or he's just Asia Whale. So
Those in our way.
he presses S3, which I find quite surprising.
Come on, let's go.
My S2 is gonna go into the Inferno, and you see now he's in a really bad spot because he's solo DPS. So he has to S2 my Celine, and he gets resisted.
Is it my turn?
Well, I guess he speed RNG'd
Show
me.
you my
Deserved.
secret weapon?
I'm just gonna S3 and
It's not my fault if you get hurt.
I guess just win the game.
If you wish to die.
So remember, we put unbuffable here, which means he doesn't get the barrier. I guess we didn't reduce the buff duration on the hand guy, which kind of sucks.
Goblin
But we're gonna S3 here. Now, because the Conquer Lilius is so fast, she might come lapping down here and actually S1 into our Lionheart Sturmia. I think at this rate, it's gonna be pretty hard for him to win, but it is technically winnable because I have 2 units that AoE really hard. So it's not necessarily lost, but it'll be difficult for him, I think. So there's one counter. I actually salvo. Not that great of salvoing, to be honest. I'm going to S1 into the Silius, because Silius is the fastest unit and requires a lot of speed gear. And typically, that means if they have a lot of speed gear, they're not going to have a whole lot of bulk.
It's time for your extinction.
He S2's onto the candy here. Makes
Come on,
sense.
I'll take you all down.
Just going to S1 into the Silius here.
I'll make you taste.
Silius is going to press
despair.
S1 on something.
Focus.
That activates our Lionheart.
Exhausted already?
Now we have two single target units now, so no AoE coming in.
Stop me?
So the LRK is one turn
Victory is
off
within our grasp.
from another S3, and he has Soul, so he can Soul Burn S3 into us, which is going to be a little bit scary. But I don't think he's going to be able to kill our Lionheart. I don't think so. We're gonna lifesteal way too much. So his S1 actually lands on the Celine, makes sense because he has a symbol of unity.
Born to be a hero.
So I'm gonna S3 here,
My destiny. I will cut you down.
and we break the barrier.
Come on,
Kill
I'll
that
take you all
guy.
down.
And I don't really need the souls at the moment for anyone else, so I'm just gonna go for damage here.
If you wish to die,
I'm gonna S1 stun. We land a stun and a duel, wow.
do not falter.
Okay, that's kind of undeserved. You actually salvo too, wow. Alright, well, it's LRK versus 4. I mean, it's winnable.
You could try a
It is winnable for him. He has 3 into me, I have escort. My parrot might die here. My parrot does not die, wow.
How
That's crazy to me. So if I S2,
those seeking revenge
I don't think that's worth.
must pay the price.
I think if anything, I'm gonna soul burn on the Emelandi here, just so I can get the healing from our salvo.
Bon voyage.
Because Emelandi can 1v1 LRK pretty easily, right? So I'm not worried about that. And I'm not gonna S2 here because I don't want to cycle out of my S4 fast. I'm just gonna let him S3.
Surrender. Shall we bring this to a close?
He presses S3 and it should be over. I don't think we're gonna be able to lose from this spot. The escort's just too powerful from the Payra. Yep. We got outsped, we got a little bit of RNG, but that's a good match. GG's. Alright, so Luo AOL pre-bans coming out from the right side. Doesn't really give us a whole lot of information to work with,
I'll
just
take
because
your
these are
line.
pretty standard bans, and he takes Conquer Lilius first. So to react to the Conquer Lilius first pick, I'm going to take Emelandi here, and I'm going to take Zio.
Meatheads.
Taking Zio because I want to take the tempo back out of the draft. I think I sound like a broken record now, but you can tell that if you ever want to contest the first turn, you're gonna have to take Zio, right? Otherwise, you might potentially get run down like a dog. My repeat battling has ended. Nice. He goes for Emoken. Emoken's pretty good into I guess all of these because I crit, right?
Another
So it's not
trial
bad.
to overcome.
He goes for Airwell. Interesting. I'm actually inclined to... If I go Pay right here, he can go B-Dom. And then he has 2 solo carries with 3 utility, which is not that great for me. So if we're in this position, what would I want to do? I think taking B-Dom's not bad.
How adorable.
And then we need something to kind of address his whole draft. Could I go Lionheart Sermia? Yeah, I don't see why not.
I'll give you a taste of defeat.
I'll take Lionheart
This
Sermia
fight
here.
time.
He goes Karina. So I need something that's going to be a bit of a force ban for him. So I have 2 DPS, I have 3 DPS technically in utility. This is kind of like a utility DPS going into the Silius to deny the first turn and deny the Vigor from the team on the right side. So I need to get a really good last pick that's worth force banning for him.
Fear is how others control you.
And honestly, that pick might be Solitaria.
Being popular is
Solitaria
so
counters this. I don't think this is worth a ban. I think Karina's pretty problematic. Maybe banning mitigation would be good, because I think he's gonna let these two through. I don't have any way of dealing with it directly, so he probably ban Solitaria here, and he has no cleanse, right? So I'll probably ban mitigation here and then focus the Karina down. I think it's not too bad. Let's ban the mitigation. So as we expected, he bans the Solitaria, because obviously this is gonna deal with his whole draft. Ban the mitigation, and we're gonna have to Zio S3 into the Karina, and then if the Silius does press buttons, that means our B-Dom's gonna go and give us skill nullifier and everything else.
Your emperor?
Check the CR bar.
I
So we're gonna
am
S3 into the Karina. We are like 170 effects, so I don't think he's gonna be able to resist,
Obey
as expected.
if you wish to live.
So if he presses buttons here, we're gonna get skill nullifier, so he could S1 into us. But that's gonna trigger Lionheart right away, right? Is he gonna want to do that? I don't know.
Sword. I won't
So he has
fall.
twos, as expected. Okay. So now we have skill null going into the Rylet, and I'm actually just gonna want to go for an S1. I don't have any crit on our B-Dom, right? So that can't trigger the Emoken. So unless we crit, that's RNG loss. Okay, we didn't crit, which means Rylet is gonna have to S1 into just one of our units here. He actually gets a dual attack. That's pretty unlucky for him, honestly. I have immunity too, so I can't get provoked by the Emoken here. And if I actually hit on this Rylet, that would be actually pretty pog. Oh wow, we actually just straight up delete the Rylet. Oh my goodness. It's over.
I got something for you.
Because that Karina can't S3.
Take you all down.
If the Karina can't S3, it's really problematic for her, right? Because all of her damage is coming from the Vigor, which gives 30% more defense, and the defense buff. And if she can't S3, she's basically useless, right? We counter as well. Do we salvo? We do salvo. See, Emolandi is just such a broken unit, man. So we're gonna have to S1 into the Karina to try to kill her. We actually get another dual attack. Do we salvo? We do not. Okay. So this S1's gonna finish off the Karina here. We do still have immunity, and we do still have skill nullifier on the Zio, which is gonna negate a lot of damage. Now Silius is just gonna press S1 into us, and I still have S3 from our B-Dom. So unless this S1 kills B-Dom, I can push our whole team up, and we should be able to take this match. I don't think he's gonna be able to lifesteal enough off the Lionheart here, so we're just gonna press S3 here.
Let's see.
All right, here we go. He does have Vigor on the Emoken, so a bit scary, but we have defense buff, which means that even if he counters off Sigurd, he's not gonna be able to heal that much. He's actually, yeah, he's on Sigurd, so watch, he's not gonna heal the full because we have defense buff. If it was a DPS unit like Landy that he can really nuke, he could probably kill us right away, right? But we Soulburn S1, that gets us to the match. Absolutely masterclass happening right now, no cap. But yeah, pretty good match. Alright, so Navy Captain Landy and Silius are coming out as a pre-ban from the right side, which is pretty balanced. We want to take something strong as a first pick, so I'm actually maybe going to go for an AOL draft. AOL flexes pretty good into cleave, it demolishes standard pretty hard. I have 200 effectiveness to land on Destinas, so overall she's a pretty strong pick. If they do something like a Knockwall, Zio or something, you can go into like Atau and Elena or something like that, which is going to counter the Knockwall super hard. So it goes AOL, not exactly good into AOL, so they still have not addressed the AOL first pick yet. This also doesn't address because we're going to have enough effectiveness to land on this, but this does give them a bit of tempo in the draft. Now, what am I going to want to do? So they have CR push, they have immunity if I take an extra turn. I could probably take Zio here. I think taking Zio would not be bad. Yeah, we'll take Zio.
Witness the power of
I think we
the
could take
chosen.
Payra too, but I kind of want to have a DPS here, but it might be a little bit too early to show a DPS because I can get countered. So I'm actually going to take Payra here.
If you wish to die.
So the reason why I take it like this, if I take just Payra +1 like a DPS or a tank, it's kind of awkward, right? I can't. It's kind of awkward because I'm stuck in between the middle. At least AOL flexes into standard, it flexes into aggro, it flexes into cleave, because they don't know if I'm holding souls or not. But I have high effectiveness here, and yeah, overall this draft it feels okay. I don't have to press S2 if there's beat on, right? I just press S3. He responds with a Violet pick, which I don't know if I really agree with, because I still have 2 picks that are going to be able to address this entire draft. And he goes for a DJB. So he has 2 units that rely on non-attack skills, and the DJB is good into the pay right here. So I just need to pick some units that can deal with his drafts, and I think one of those units that would be pretty good would probably be I think Bryceria is pretty good here.
You challenge me? Fine.
I think Bryceria is really OP here, and I wonder how good Abyssal Euphene is. He's pretty low damage. If he's so low damage, I actually think Abyssal Euphene would be pretty good here, no cap. Abyssal Euphene's gonna be a pretty good anchor too.
I don't even know.
He just doesn't have enough damage, right? He's gonna be set on a timer. Like, I don't believe in Violet being able to just kill us. I can threaten to ban the DJB here as well. It'll be difficult for him, I think. So Emoken's obviously a force ban, because Emoken addresses with these 2 picks and this. They ban Emoken. He bans the the Bryceria, obviously. And I'm just gonna go full release imprint. I mean, I don't believe... How much effectiveness do we have without our imprints? We have 167, which is... Yeah, it should be enough to land on everybody here. And I just want to make sure I give all of the team imprints onto the proper units. Obviously, our AU Fiend is going to be jacked up here with the defense imprints and the attack imprints. So let's see how this goes. Now, obviously, I can't really S2, S3 on Payra. I can't even S3. I basically can only S1. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to just S3 onto the airwall here. Because they have double cleanser, so he's counter Arrowwell. Interesting. He's on Eternus. So if I S2, that's going to give him skill null and immunity. If I S3, he kills me. So I probably just go for an S1 to stun him. And I did not land. I do have 180 effectiveness. So it's pretty surprising that I didn't land there. But I mean, it's only 40% chance. So here, I should be able to land on everything.
On behalf of the Creator, I will deliver judgment.
Should be able to get S3 off here and just land everything. So he didn't land the silence off of the Violet, which kind of sucks, which means he's going to be able to cleanse it with S2. But I mean, hey, it's fine because AU Fiend is going to get countered by the Violet. And he can't get attack buff, right? And that's going to put him on a timer.
How incompetent.
And B-Dom can actually cleanse for the... I'm gonna press it. DJB is silenced. AOL is coming around. AOL can silence the cleanser of B-Dom.
Need my help?
He has to go into the AOL here, right? If he goes on AOL, that's going to be the best play. I don't think he's gonna be able to one-shot it without attack buff. Yeah, no, the escort is proving to be too much for him. Zio's obviously slept. And DJB is gonna S1. And I'm going to go for a silence. Yeah, because that gives attack buff. I'm gonna go for a silence. Wow, 15%.
I protect.
Well, that's really bad, because that 15% means he can cleanse, push up the DJB to S2. Oof, that 15% feels bad. Okay. 15% RNG. He goes D-bag. If I S2, he gets skill null, so I just need to land a stun on the DJB, which I do. And he hasn't pressed S3 on the DJB yet, so he does have a lot of mitigation. So I'm actually just going to S1 into the airwell.
Read the room.
We land another stun, that's big.
Back down.
Now the Beatom should outspeed us.
You're just
So he can maybe sleep our Zio again. He slept our Zio again, god damn it.
careful.
Alright, so now we have to hopefully silence this DJB or our Pyrrha dies. We got 15% it again. That's rather unlucky, I think. So we S1, he counters again. No attack down though, so he is still on a timer. He's still on a timer.
If you wish
Our
to
Pyrrha
die,
is gonna come out of stealth if I S2. I need to come out of stealth on our Pyrrha.
the fun
I can't let the DJB S2 for free because that means we're gonna be put in a really bad position. I need to just go for an S1 here.
trembling.
That may have been the wrong play actually, no cap. That may have been the wrong play. I think maybe just S1ing going for a stun on the DJB might have been the play. I may have misplayed that one right there. But I mean, we are one turn off. We are one turn off. We are on Holy Sack. We got the skill null off of the Violet with our Pyrrha S1, so I mean, it's not totally doomed, I guess.
I made it in the nick of time.
Because remember, this is gonna S3. He's gonna put trauma. He could dodge us and then just one-shot us with S1 if he's like a nuke Violet build, but
Shall be punished.
it just comes down to a few different things, I guess.
The power
Let
of
us
the chosen.
remove the skill nullifier off of this DJB because he doesn't have S3
Here
damage
I
mitt
come.
anymore. Man, that kind of sucks that we didn't. Oh well. We'll just have the S1 here. We actually hit on the Violet, which I guess is good news. I wonder if he S3s into our Yukine here. He does.
How futile your life is.
I am on Holy Sack. I mean, he could just, oh no, I'm dead. No, I'm dead. GG. Yeah, I think the misplay was the Pyrrha S2, but I got really unlucky on some of the 15% from the AOL S1 when I burned it, so I'd probably chalk it up to RNG loss a little bit on that one. Alright, so that's gonna do it for today's video. Normally I don't really make RTA videos, I have in the past, but if you guys do enjoy, please do let me know in the comments below. As a lot of you guys know, I am trying to push for Legend for the first time ever. I've only made Emperor 4 times. But yeah, it's very challenging, but a lot of you guys have requested for this to be uploaded to YouTube. Not all of my matches, I will be streaming a lot of it on Twitch. And today will be a really interesting video because Ace Trainer will be coaching me again, so hopefully you guys will come watch that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your comments below, and I will be frequently uploading the RTA matches when I'm playing off stream. So take care. Hopefully we will be Legend soon. Alright, see you guys. Bye.